There was something haunting in the voice of Chester Bennington, something raw, tormented, almost too human. When Linkin Park exploded into the mainstream in the early 2000s, no one could have predicted how deeply their music would crawl under people's skin. But behind the powerful screams and emotionally charged lyrics was a man unraveling, one who often said he was haunted by memories he couldn't erase, dreams he couldn't wake from, and shadows that whispered when no one else was around. Chester once admitted in interviews that his songs were born from pain, shaped by trauma, and fueled by nightmares that never let go. Tracks like Crawling, Breaking the Habit, and One More Light were not just music. They were confessions, almost like ritualistic chants echoing darkness. Some fans began to believe that Chester wasn't just writing about demons, he was fighting them. Or worse, summoning them. During the recording of Meteora, several sound engineers reportedly noticed strange audio, anomalies, echoes that weren't part of the track, whispers underneath the vocals that vanished upon playback. At first they dismissed it as glitching equipment, but when those whispers spelled out fractured words that matched Chester's lyrics before he even wrote them, they weren't so sure. One engineer left the studio, refusing to return, claiming he saw a figure standing behind Chester during a vocal session, only visible through the reflection on the glass. Chester's insomnia worsened over the years. He described nights when he'd hear knocking on the walls, always in sets of 3. He would wake up at exactly 3:13 in the morning, drenched in sweat, with the same phrase echoing in his ears, "They're listening now." He kept journals of these episodes, pages filled with shaky handwriting, sketches of distorted faces, and cryptic sentences like, "It's not depression, it's something else, something old." There was even a song, never released, rumored to be recorded. During the Minutes to Midnight sessions, known by the crew as the Hollow track, according to insiders, the track played fine once. But when they tried to mix it, layers of sound emerged that no one remembered recording. Deep growls, reversed words, and inhuman screams that caused the software to crash repeatedly. That file was eventually deleted, or so they said. Some believe that Chester was a vessel, that the combination of his suffering, his sensitivity, and his worldwide reach made him a conduit for something far darker. His music wasn't just a cry for help. It was a signal, and someone or something had answered. On the morning of July 20th, 2017, Chester Bennington was found dead in his California home. Official reports declared it a suicide by hanging on what would have been the birthday of his close friend, Chris Cornell. Just 2 months earlier, Cornell had also been found dead in a strikingly similar way. 2 voices silenced, 2 legends gone. To the public, it looked like the crushing weight of depression had claimed another victim. But to those who paid attention, the details were too synchronized, too deliberate. Whispers of conspiracy emerged almost instantly. Some fans and researchers believed that Chester and Chris had been working together to expose a powerful underground network, a ring involving abuse, corruption, and elites with everything to lose. Both men were said to have been gathering information. Both died before anything could be revealed. But beyond the conspiracy, there were other stories. Stories that couldn't be explained by politics or coincidence. A former security guard, who had worked at one of Linkin Park's last shows, claimed he saw Chester sitting alone backstage long after the concert had ended, his eyes glassy, his lips moving as if speaking to someone invisible. When approached, Chester allegedly whispered, "They're already here." No one understood what he meant. Days later, he was gone. After his death, fans gathered outside his home, leaving candles, flowers, and handwritten notes. But a few claimed to see figures in the windows at night, thin silhouettes pacing, stopping to stare out as if watching the mourners. A neighbor said she heard someone singing in Chester's voice, Numb, though the house was supposed to be empty. Authorities dismissed it all as imagination, but they refused to stay inside the house alone after sunset. Then came the dreams. Crew members, producers, even distant friends reported eerily similar nightmares. Chester, standing at the end of a dark hallway, holding out his hand, eyes full of grief. Some say he was warning them. Others say he wanted out but couldn't find the way. One producer claimed he had repeated the phrase, "I'm still in the song," over and over during sleep, though no one knew what that meant. Years later, when a demo of an unreleased track surfaced online, believed to be from Chester's private archive, listeners reported feeling uneasy, even sick. Some said the voice didn't sound entirely human anymore. Audio engineers who analyzed the file found a strange anomaly embedded in the waveform, or low-frequency pulse that mimicked a heartbeat. But when isolated, the pulse sounded more like breathing. Now some believe that Chester never truly passed on, that something followed him from the edge of that darkness he sang about for so many years, and maybe, just maybe, it's still here, echoing through headphones, whispering through old recordings, waiting for the next voice to let it back in.